The salmon? Ah, with pepper. Hey.
Oh, yes. Cream cheese.
Good time. Back up. Back up. Yay.
She so loves a bit of fun at the top of the stairs when we just came in. So on today's DIY, I'm going to show you how I made these two quite easy little gift cards. So first of all, for the boat. Now I'm taking the inspiration from the little paper boat that I made. I hope all my patrons have enjoyed receiving their paper boats recently, and let me know if you managed to put it together yet. So first of all, I'm going to cut a sail. So the sail's just pretty much like a triangle shape. So there's two sides to this tick and stripe fabric, so I'm going to go with the slightly more vintage side where it's a little bit more faded. Excuse my sleeves, I've been out with the dog and it's been raining, and I didn't realise how dirty these sleeves were until I just watched this video back. Anyway, so I'm just using my sharp scissors here just to cut a little triangle shape, roughly the size I want to go with it, and then just straighten it out a little bit. So it's rained so much here in the last, feels like it's rained for like 2.5, 3 weeks solid. So I'm quite happy with that, and I'm really quite happy with the stripes going up and down as opposed to across. So I'll keep that like that. Next, I'm going to make the main body of the boat. So I'm just looking to see how much it needs to overlap and how much it needs to be less than the length of it as well. So I'm just cutting a little strip here, just going by eye really to try and keep it in proportion. So this paper, you'll know if you've received what this paper is like, but it's great because you can just cut along the pattern so you can get like a nice straight line. So I'm just trimming it so it's straight. And then it's got a flat back, and then the front just needs cutting up on an angle, just working out roughly where that would be, going to the front of the boat, just about here. So that's my boat base. And that'll just sit about there. Yep, that should be fine. Maybe just take a little bit off the back there. Yep, that looks better. So next I'm going to use some string. I don't want to use the ribbon to wrap around the mast because it's too wide for this little tiny boat. So I'm just going to use this blue string. So it's kind of slightly vintagey and kind of seems to go with the colours. So I'm just going to cut some of this off and then wrap it round a cocktail stick. So I've just tied it at one end and then I'm tying it at the bottom end, and I've just twirled it round so it looks like it's just nicely decorated as a cute little mast, similar to the DIY I done when I made the actual boat. And then I'm just going to use some glue. Now obviously hot glue would be much quicker for this to dry, but it's fine, I'm not in a hurry. So I'm just going to use this kind of PVA type glue on everything. So first of all, I'm just going to glue the boat base, or the main body of the boat, and then just position that roughly about in the middle of the card, and then slightly down from the middle. So the middle as far as left to right goes. And then that's it. I haven't squashed it down yet, I'm just checking I'm happy with it. And then I squashed it down. So next I'm just gluing on the sail. So this fabric I know glues fine to card because I've used this before. And then I'm just popping this, I'm just making sure I overlap the front a little bit. So like I say, I'm just using my little DIY boat as a guide. So just pop that on there, and I haven't got it quite touching the boat. I've left a little bit of a gap there. And then just push that down to dry. So next, to glue down the cocktail stick. So this is probably the trickiest bit because obviously it's quite rigid, and then if the card gets bent, then it's gonna like lift the glue off. So I just carefully just positioned this down up against the sail and just pushed it down. Held it for a bit, and then I did leave that dry for a bit. So next I'm going to cut out the decorations, so like the little flags. So as you've seen me do before when I made the boat, I've just cut a triangular shape, like a flag shape, and then I just bend it over on itself so I get the same shape again, and then just cut that out. So I've cut a few of these out already, and these I'm just going to use to decorate the back of the boat where the ropes are. A little bit fiddly, but yeah, so I've cut a few of those out. So what I just used, once I cut the first one out, I just used it as a template to cut out more. Just makes it quicker. So I've just gone with the same pattern on these. I haven't gone for two different patterns on this particular, on the flags. So that's my flags cut out. So next I'm going to use some of that light blue or kind of vintagey blue string. So what I'm going to do is I've just actually hooked the top of it onto the top of the cocktail stick, but I will have to glue that at some point, and then just glue the bottom bits down to the back of the boat. So I've made sure it's gone right at the back of the boat, so it looks like it's tied onto the boat, and then just pulled it down. So I don't want it to look like one piece of string, I want it to kind of look like two, so I've just fiddled on with a little bit just to make sure it looks like two pieces of string, and then a little bit of glue on the top. So this is a super little easy DIY. I mean, this would be really sweet for like a newborn baby boy. Probably just because of the blue stripes in the sail, I'm thinking it would be nice for like a little birthday card. So then I've just popped a flag on the top there, and then I've just used the glue to stick on the rest of the flags. So I've got some that look like they're sitting at the back. I've just sat them to one of the pieces of string, and then I've sat some on the left piece of string, so it looks like they're more towards like the front. Just glued on a few extra there, and that's the little card made. Now this did wrinkle the card a little bit because I think I put too much glue on because I couldn't find a decent brush. So I did end up cutting this out and then sticking it up fresh on a new card. And just as a little final extra touch, I just tied a little knot in the blue string and then glued it, and then I've just put it on the front of the boat so it looks like the sail's tied down onto the boat. So that's pretty sweet little easy DIY. You could use craft paper, bits of material, or anything really to make that. So I'm just going to show you this other little card I've made. So I've just done a quick sketch of a rough shape of what I think a lighthouse would probably look like, just to get a rough idea. So instead of making this lighthouse in sections, separate sections, what I thought I'd do is just cut out this little piece of card, cover it with some of the striped fabric I've got, and then just layer everything on top of it, as far as kind of adding the details and what have you to it. So I've just put some glue on it and then put it on the striped fabric. So this is the same striped fabric that I made your tags out of, if you got the tags. Yeah, I've just got a little bit left, and the good thing about doing stuff like this is you can just cut this out straight away because it doesn't seem to shrink around the card. So this is quite straightforward to do. So I just cut out the shape, and then I'm just going to keep this. I'm not going to put any details at the bottom of it like land or anything because the boat's just kind of by itself. So I just thought I'll stick with the same theme with this and just glue the lighthouse on just by itself. So next I just cut out a little section of white card. So just check that it fitted over the bottom of the lighthouse. As usual, I just literally made this up as I went along. I'm sure you know by now, that's just the way I roll. So I just put a bit of glue on that and then just stuck that down onto the bottom of the lighthouse. So I thought this could be the area like where the door is. So next I just used a red felt pen and then just drew on a little door. So I thought I'd just keep this really the two colours, the red and the white. So I just drew that little door on, and then I cut out a little piece of card just to sit on the top. I coloured it in red pen first and then just glued it on to the top there, because they always seem to have this like little kind of dome or kind of shaped area of the little spike on the top. And then another little piece of white card to where the kind of actual light is going to shine from on the top of the lighthouse. So I just positioned that in the top area there and then just pushed that on. And then next I cut out a little section which would be like the little area where the kind of, I think where they can actually walk around the lighthouse. There always seems to be like a little platform area just under the light area. So I've just coloured that in red pen and then just glued it, and then I've stuck that on just directly underneath where the light area would be, and then just positioned that on there. And then I've cut these tiny little windows. These are really hard to cut out. Tiny little windows, and then a little strip that I thought I might just put here underneath the red section. Just felt like it needed that. So then I've just glued that. These little windows are really fiddly, and I have no idea how many of these I've dropped on the floor. I was going to have 3 windows, and I've just decided to go for 2. So I've just glued on a little section there underneath the red, little kind of like the wider section that I've put on there. And then this was really quite fiddly. I've probably edited this like about 4 times. So I've put the just glued on the little sorry, that was my phone pinging. I should switch it off. Just put on the little windows, and then with a red pen I've just kind of gone along the edges here, just to, because no doubt this would be metal work and this would be painted, and then added like a crisscross detail. And sorry I haven't actually got to record this next bit. I just put some pieces of string coming out from where the light would be, so it looked like the light was shining out. Back to the dog. So you've seen a clip of her at the beginning. She just loves this when I'm coming up the stairs. In anticipation, she kind of just gets so excited when I'm coming up the stairs. She's always so happy to see us.
Oh, Minnie, 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 Minnie. Minnie, Minnie, Minnie.
So thank you for watching this week's DIY, and I will see you again next week. I hope I've inspired you to maybe make your own cards. Oh, she's tired really. I don't know how she's got all this energy. I will try and make sure I put her in the videos because I know you love seeing her. Bye for now.
Good girl, yeah.